Hey everybody, Fragrance Professor back at it again. I want to share with you three of my top picks for winter fragrances that I'm wearing right now that I've really enjoyed. And I haven't spoken much about any of these actually, and so I wanted to just share with you a little bit about what I'm wearing right now. Here we are, winter of 24. It's we've been having a lot of cold weather, and so what am I doing right now just to kind of keep me warm, make me feel sort of at ease and sort of cozy, if you will, and just fragrances that are kind of giving me a nice boost to get me through these cold months and weeks that we have. The first one that I want to share with you is Dolce Gabbana Pour Homme. This is Intenso. Okay, now this is sort of an updated version of the original Dolce Gabbana Pour Homme, which is really a classic. If you have that fragrance, you probably are aware that it was reformulated many times since its initial launch back in somewhere around the mid to late 1990s, if I'm not mistaken. So this was launched in 2014. It is like I said, more well-rounded. There are watery notes there. There's a lavender. It's a little smoother, but the tobacco, the citrus kind of comes in. I remember hearing something that I don't know if I heard it from someone or if I read about it. I imagine I read it on a forum, but it almost reminded that particular person, and this is of the original, of someone in Miami smoking a big cigar while sitting in their lemon orchard. And I think this is not so heavy on those particular notes. Like I said, when I got this, I had to smell it and wear it a few times to sort of pick up on what it was. And the original DNA does come through, and it's one that I can enjoy, but I can use it not only in the cold months. So this is a recent pickup. I probably got this about a month ago now. So yes, it's great for the winter, but it's also one that you can wear, I would say, year round. And it's not going to be cloying. It's not going to be overpowering. So this is Dolce Gabbana Intenso, okay? This is an EDP, by the way. The next one that I want to share with you is actually one from Maison Alhambra. Okay, now this is called Hercules. And I'm going to take it out of the box. You may recognize the box as being something that maybe is reminiscent of Parfums de Marly, and you would be correct. Okay, now, if you take a look at that bottle, there's several in the Maison Alhambra line that were designed in terms of the presentation, i.e. the box and the bottle, to be very, very close to the original that they were trying to emulate. This is actually an inspired version of Herod by Parfums de Marly. So I had heard a good bit of hype about this one, and I love Herod, and it's one that especially during these cold months, I really look forward to wearing. I have several dupes of it from different houses, but this one just sort of piqued my interest for whatever reason. Now, I will tell you that to my nose, at least, this is not the most accurate in terms of, to the OG percentage-wise similarity. Let me give that a squirt. It does smell really nice, but it's not, at least to my nose, okay? Now, again, your experience may vary with this, but at least to my nose, it's probably not the most accurate. However, I haven't smelled every single batch of Herod. I have a particular batch that's a few years old. Obviously, these things can change, so it may be that this was inspired maybe from a particular batch of Herod. But regardless, it's a great scent. I think it's one that you really will like, especially if you like the OG, you will like this one. And it's a little pricier than a lot of the Maison Alhambras that I've presented, or maybe that you already have, just because it seems to me a little bit difficult to find. I had to hunt just a little bit for this. I may have paid $25 versus something like 18 to 20 for a lot of them. So not absurdly expensive, but just a little bit more. But I love the bottle. It just really kind of reminds me of the OG. So there we have it. That again, that's Hercules. Now, one thing that I will toss out there. I'm not getting extreme longevity from this one. Now, Herod, at least the batch that I have, is not that way either. So some people have kind of complained. I read a lot of the online reviews and forums and involved in a lot of these kind of things on social media. And that seems to be sort of the consensus that Herod is not a beast in terms of the sillage and projection, but it sort of gets the job done. But, when you're paying $200, you would hope for a little bit better performance than if you were paying, let's say, 25. So just keep that in mind. It's hard to go wrong with something that smells pretty darn close to the OG that has decent or reasonable projection and sillage. So there we go. That is, again, Hercules. Now, last but not least, I wanted to include one from a house that I have sort of rediscovered. Okay, and the house that I'm talking about, it's another dupe house, clone house, although they also now, which is again another trend, they also have some of their original creations. I'm talking about Dossier. I've featured them several times on the channel over the last couple of years. This is called Spicy Orchid. Now, this was a recent pickup as well. I've gotten quite a few Dossiers recently, and for the most part have enjoyed them. Some have been a little bit better than others, of course, but if you kind of know what you're looking for, then you can generally make pretty good decisions. They're coming out with new fragrances just about every month now, so they've upped their inventory or their selection of fragrances to over 100 now, from what I have seen in different emails and on their website maybe as well. But again, back to this particular fragrance, it's called Spicy Orchid. Now, what I have done, because I have probably about 20 dossiers and a whole host of other dupes in the collection, I have started to actually put little labels here on the bottom of the bottle. Now, I don't know if you can read that, but it's Tom Ford. It's a dupe of Black Orchid, which is a very expensive fragrance. And a lot of people really love Black Orchid. I don't have that Tom Ford, but from what I can tell from this, it is a very rich fragrance. I'll read you some of the notes. And again, one of the great things I like about Dossier is that they list the notes right there. It's very minimalistic in terms of the bottle design, but one thing that I've always liked is that you have the notes listed right there, so you sort of know what to expect. But again, the bottle sort of reminds me of Byredo bottles, and they're very minimalistic, but I think well done. And they have not changed this design since I've been doing business with them for probably about the last 2 years. So again, a little squirt. I like this one, but it's one that I don't think you could wear probably outside of the colder months. I'm going to read you a few of these notes. We have cinnamon, pink pepper, ylang ylang, orchid, plum, incense, patchouli. So just from the notes, the note breakdown itself, you can probably tell these are some very heavy notes and ones that would do much better in the cold weather. I would not recommend this for summer. Hercules that I just shared with you, or the first one, Dolce Gabbana Intenso, I think you could probably get away with wearing those most of the year. Maybe not in July, but most of the year, at least at night, I think you could do it. This one, on the other hand, I think would have to be relegated to only cold weather months. So it's a very thick, I just have that scent bubble around me. It just completely overwhelmed Hercules from a minute ago. But it's a good scent. It's different. I think if you're looking for something like this, if you've always wondered what a Black Orchid must smell like, I would point you in this direction and, try it. This was, if you buy these, 4 or 5 at a time, you can generally get them for $20 to $25 each. So that's something along the lines of what I paid for this when I ordered a shipment of 4 or 5 fragrances. So there we have it. So Spicy Orchid is the name of this one, and it's one that I've enjoyed. Again, a little goes a long way with this, and this is also considered, I don't know if they actually, I was going to say it's considered an EDP, but they actually do not do that. They'll list the percentage of perfume oil in the description, but they do not actually distinguish if it's an EDT or EDP. But nonetheless, it is a very powerful, very potent fragrance. So there we go. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed that, guys. Those are three that I wanted to share with you, three that I'm really enjoying this winter of 2024. There are a lot of other ones I could have included, so these are not exclusive, but they are three that I have been wearing quite a bit and have enjoyed. All right, guys. What are you wearing right now? I'd love to know. Drop me a line down below. Share with me a little bit if you are so inclined. I'd love to hear from you. And also, if you're not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button down below. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. And we will see each other in the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.